All right, welcome for today's performance. We are going to be just primarily discussing how live actions are slowly, I guess, controversially making their weird comeback. And that's my stance right now, because I know you're going to have way different opinions for live action in general. Look, I don't want to just come out the get-go and say that all live actions have been horrible, but it's mostly the remakes that are just met with mixed opinions and reactions. Because Lilo and Stitch had just come out. You and I were probably both equally excited to see this again.
Yes.
And now that people are starting to tell what the movie was like, everyone is just starting to backtrack immediately and thinking, damn, we're never going to have a good remake again, are we?
It's. I know I had such only a few requirements for me to be excited to see this. I, for one, wanted Stitch to be voiced by Chris Sanders. Check. I wanted the Grand Councilwoman to look oddly fuckable. Check.
All right, champ. Whatever the hell that was supposed to mean.
And I wanted Lilo to be a little bit of her usual weird self. Now that's kind of on the fence depending on how you ask. But you can't make my Uncle Jumba the full villain.
Hold on.
That's my Uncle Jumba.
That is actually one of the criticisms I still find confusing about. I get it because I love Jumba. We all love Jumba. Jumba's character development throughout the whole franchise itself was just chaotic uncle who only shows up for Christmas just to give you a gun. But I don't know. I think when it comes to remakes in general for a live action sense, I want them to take other directions than do a copy paste of what the original movie was like. Because we saw what happens when they do copy paste, like with Lion King.
God, I'm just watching my mic pick you up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like shot-for-shot remakes, obviously, because I could have just stayed home and, sailed the seven seas to watch the original. But I also don't like it when they completely just say, oh, we got the vague sense of what the plot and what the meaning of the movie was. Let's just run with it. It's like you took a one look at the Mona Lisa and decided, yeah, I could paint that.
That is Look, I'm not about to rip into Lilo and Stitch, okay? I'm not about to say it's a great movie.
I fucking will.
Yeah. I'm talking about the classic.
Oh, the classic? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not about to rip into it and just call it the worst movie ever. But we're not going to have it at like a high bar for artistic value on the same level as something like the Mona Lisa. And I know you don't mean like the Mona Lisa. You're meaning more just how it's gold compared to turd right now. The movies I'm talking about.
All right, well then I'll say it's like looking at a Picasso and saying, "Oh yeah, I can do that," and then you make your best shot after just one look. It's the fact that it feels like they just took one watch of the movie, didn't give any critical thinking to it, and then said, "Yeah, we could make it."
Well, we still haven't seen it though. We still haven't seen it. We've only just been hearing people talk about specific matters.
Here's the thing: even though we haven't seen it, I've seen cast interviews. When your cast itself does not look like they enjoyed being part of the movie, that should be a huge telling sign.
No, yeah, you're right about that. I have to admit, did you see Pleakley's?
Yes.
I tried, man. I tried.
Poor fucking director. Honestly, yeah, and that's one of my biggest issues is how much power a producer has when they don't have the movie's best interest in heart. Because that's clearly what, from what I'm seeing so far, has happened. Like, the executives and the producers have stepped in. They don't really care about what the movie is about. They just want the money from the nostalgia bait. And they butchered basically what went into the original film, which I'm pretty sure that breaks Chris Sanders' heart.
Yeah, man.
Because that is his creation.
Yeah. It's him, but I don't think it's his creation per se.
No, it's based off of his idea. He designed Stitch.
Oh, I never knew that part.
But I can understand, I'm not going to give, the flack to the director. They couldn't get the original director because he's busy on the How to Train Your Dragon film. But
Yeah, I was gonna say.
producers really need to have like a fucking limit system on what they can like change. Because if I'm thinking back to like Cool World, I read the original synopsis for that. I'm like that.
What's that?
It's one of those live action and 2D animated combination type films, like what Roger Rabbit was.
Okay.
Like it starts off as this
Oh, that the one was Nurse Holly.
Hollywood.
Oh, sorry.
Apparently, like the main guy was like half human, half toon, and it was this gritty thing. And then, of course, the executives got their fucking hands on it, and then it just butchered the entire concept. Like, you have gold, but you decide to turn it into bronze. Why? Back to live actions.
Look. My only true criticism for live actions is that the story has to be at least interesting enough to warrants the remake itself.
Yeah.
Because look, I love the hell out of Cinderella. We did not need the live action remake.
Oh yeah, we didn't need it, but at least they were like faithful enough to it and got a little exploratory with it.
And then that's still where I'm confused for a lot of people, because if I want to get a copy paste, I know I've said it before, but if I want to get a copy paste version of a movie that's going to be remade live action style, I just watch the original movie. It's like what's happening right now with How to Train Your Dragon. So far, the movie itself is looking to be the same thing again, what we got from the 2D source. There's nothing truly different from current screenings or current trailers that warrant anything different.
But we've seen how what we judge from the trailer from what we judge from the actual film can be different, because from just trailers alone, we were both fucking excited for Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah. But still, that's why I'm taking the criticism right now with a grain of salt, because the one criticism that I probably will hold as truth is the Snow White one.
Yeah.
Because everything I've seen of Snow White has been utterly horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from, I think the one, look, I do not care truly about the casting for Snow White.
Yeah.
Because for me, at least, it was all right. Okay, her acting skills and the singing she did, all right, pretty good. All right.
And she acted well in the Hunger Games side movie, and she sang well. So she has the capability.
Yeah, she has the potential. My criticism just goes for everything else, though. I don't know which one was making me more upset. The Seven Dwarves looking horribly uncanny, because I know they're minors. Why do they look sweaty at all times in the film? They look like someone just doused them with baby oil and just told them to lather around in the mines.
Neck beards, but childified.
I will say, though, that I did hear the fuller version of the mining song.
Hi ho.
Hi ho, yeah. I fuck with it. I rock with it. I don't know what it is about it, but I feel like it was good. Tolerable enough, but not like repeatable enough. And then there's the evil queen. Can't remember her name, who plays her, but
Gal Gadot.
yeah. You said Gal Gadot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought you said something else. She. Oh my god, her acting skills have always been just brick wall. Because there's no emotion. I remember someone making a compilation of every emotional scene Gal Gadot was in. It genuinely just comes from heightened voice, monotone expression.
So, Kristen Stewart in Twilight.
I guess so. But I mean, look, Kristen Stewart later went on to at least try more for her acting chops.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot's been in acting career for years now, and she's been like the same type of skill. There's one bit in Superman. She's Wonder Woman, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
But she is trying to reason with Superman. She just shouts out, "Kal-El, no." And her expression wasn't even. I couldn't read it. Like if I was Superman in that scenario, I would be more confused. Who was this person trying to reason with me? Because there was not even a hint of concern,
Like, do
worry.
I fucking know you?
Yeah, like who is this person trying me right now? And then do you know the ending for the Snow White remake though?
No.
Oh, you want me spoiled?
Go ahead. I'm not gonna watch it.
Okay, good. No one's gonna watch it. So in the original, you know how Snow White ends with her waking up with true love's kiss, or more summarily, the evil queen gets killed by the boulder.
Yeah.
So they totally redid that. Instead of the boulder and true love's first kiss, they decide to go in one of the more boring, unoriginal endings for a movie. They made it where there was a class rebellion against the evil queen, or a symbolic class rebellion against the evil queen, where the seven dwarves went against the will of the evil queen and sort of overthrew her. Not in a violent manner, but in a manner that was similar to how Wish ended, where everyone was starting to see what they could do with their own skills. Yeah. It ends with just the evil queen being overthrown as a monarch.
I feel like if it was an actual like class uprising, then that would have at least been better.
No, yeah, it wasn't even that. I saw one bit for that too, where the evil queen is trying to she's trying to hold on to what power she has.
Mm-hmm.
She looks over to the side, all like mono expression because it's still Gal Gadot, and it cuts to Dopey, who just has like the biggest, most confident expression on his face, like a smile, like we did it, we overdo. Like, what did you do, dude? You guys did what exactly?
You stood in the corner screaming at the wall while you were circle jerking. How the fuck do you?
I know. We probably have to watch the movie just to get a understanding what led to this uprising.
Perhaps.
But honestly, I don't see myself having the willpower to just give this even a 5-minute chance, because I give the 5 minutes to just the mining song.
Maybe if we took edibles.
Honestly, I feel like we need to watch some movies that have strong uncanny valley in it, just high on edibles. Can you imagine how awesome that would be, though? You ever seen Ready Player One?
Yes.
Oh man, can you imagine just Ready Player One right at the most intense parts, where like it's where they're doing the final battle. It's every movie character coming together, going against the corporation, and you're just high as hell as you watch Chucky charge in and start stabbing people while Godzilla's in the background laser blasting the whole battalions.
Miku Miku me.
This is real, right?
Oh my god, it's amazing. But for Lilo and Stitch, from what I'm hearing, it's not like it goes beyond the just the character designs and what they did to like the aliens and stuff. It's like a combination. The main issue seems to be Nani.
Oh, was her do you know the ending for her at least?
Yes.
Okay. So spoiler alert then, just a heads up, right?
Yes.
All right. So with what little we know about the ending, everyone does have a problem with the fact that Nani relinquishes Nino.
Who the fuck is Nino?
Nino. Oh man, that's a Gordon Ramsay reference if anyone's ever seen Hell's Kitchen.
Jesus.
Lilo, thank you. But yeah, so
not just that. Leaves Hawaii to go to the mainland to get a degree in marine biology, which I think we need. I don't know if you know, but I have been told Native Hawaiians are able to get that degree free of charge at the University of Hawaii. Why do you need to go to California for that?
I will look that up right now, actually.
Like, there's a voucher if you are like a native-born Hawaiian.
But keep talking because I'm trying to look.
Like I'm not like. Here's the thing. With Jumba, at least, it's not to say that he's always been a good guy. He was an antagonist, but he's a villain in the way that Dr. Doofenshmirtz is a villain.
I have your answer. So Hawaiians don't get free college, but they do get various financial support programs for aid during their time in a Hawaiian institute.
Okay.
So in state, it's kind of like how right now, if you're from California, Texas, Florida, New York, if you're a resident or native of those states, you get some form of care package
It's
because
significantly cheaper.
yeah, it is significantly cheaper, very much cheaper.
So for a character who I don't know if in the movie, but for one in the original who had a hard time getting a job, what fucking job are you expecting to get in order to pay for a
Pizza,
or a Californian university?
pizza, dude. You're talking to the guy who worked 4 pizza jobs the entire time he was in college,
Oh my god.
and I hated every minute of it. But I I think my also tag along criticism for that ending is that if you look beyond the movie as just entertainment
Mm-hmm.
and just analyze it outright, it is such a slap in the face for Hawaiians
Mm-hmm.
because of how basically the state former country has delved into a tourist attraction where people are romanticizing and trying to make it seem like, oh, the native Hawaiians are happy and fine when the culture and the overall islands are getting desecrated.
More inland you get, the more likely you are to get your ass kicked.
Yes, yes, most definitely. And then the ending outright is just a slap in the face, saying pretty much just saying that, oh, the Hawaiians want to become like Americans, so they'll come to our land and be part of our education system.
Someone, I'm sorry, you go. I'll keep my mind.
I'm only going to finish saying it pretty much is just how the God, this is what happens when you have a history major part of this. It is pretty much how American government tries to paint itself in such a favorable light. Like, for example, I hate talking bad about my man, but I have to. How Teddy Roosevelt goes around saying big stick policy,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty much saying speak softly, carry big stick, but the policy was more implemented towards the Western Hemisphere and heavily on indigenous, Hispanic, or people of color in the Western part of the world.
Mm.
Basically, he perceives them more as a lower class than what white Americans are. Though he wasn't outrightly racist with slurs like you see with Wilson, he so was not as favorable as you might think for some presidents for his time.
I'll put it in a way that I kind of like sets it up. He was the best we could have at the time.
Yeah. Look,
And he wasn't the best, but he's the best we could have at the time.
ain't that every president?
Jeez, no, it's not right now.
Fair enough. But back to our live action remakes. You were going to say something before I went on.
Someone said that the way they knew this movie wasn't gonna clap as much as it should have is because they saw absolutely no thirst trap edits for David. David is like maybe top 10 of the best Disney male characters. Maybe I will bet maybe even to the top 5.
Whoa.
We can get into that later.
Whoa. That is a bold claim.
But when I mean like romantic, like relationship wise,
Okay.
not just like male characters in general. Top 10, obviously, maybe top 5. We'll get into that later. But it's the fact that there was absolutely no thirst trap edits of David at all, even from like the scraps you get from the trailers. That's how that person knew this movie was not going to be what it should be. And I'm like, okay, odd stance, but I'll support it.
I don't think that is a good bar. Look, I understand social media content goes off so well, but for some reason, my problem with those kind of values or approaches to promote or share what sort of media and films are coming out, I think it just takes away from interest of the story and more focuses on the attraction of character, and that risk people paying to see a bad movie just because a character looks conventionally attractive. So I'm not going to go and start kink shaming everyone, but something about having a bar set to, oh, is this character hot enough for a thirst trap? Just feels like you're not going to see much about a good movie rather than if a character looks like they can go for an AO3 fanfic later.
My brother in Crest.
Yes,
Attractiveness has never been the requirement.
I don't look.
And you know this.
We'll
I've
go-
seen edits of Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time,
Uh,
and that dude looks grody.
I was gonna say which one, Jacksonville's one.
No.
All right. I guess so. But we could go on to the weirdness of fandoms another time too.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to just go furthermore for our live action epidemic we're having right now, because I think while I will admit we have been getting too much,
Yes.
I must say for the most part, like any other movie that comes out, these are still ones that can be hit or miss,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I think majority of them hit. I don't think, but it's not. When I say majority, I'm not saying it's overwhelming. I'm saying it's probably like 51-49.
I'm gonna say that a good chunk of them are decent. You're rare enough to get a good one, but decent. Like it passes. Like it keeps the main theme. It doesn't butcher the characters, but you're not wowed by it.
When I say stuff that speaks highly about live action remakes, I'm more talking about movies similar to The Lion King or even The Jungle Book. I fucking loved The Jungle Book remake.
As weird as Christopher Walken orangutan was, yes, it was a good remake.
Dude, do you have any idea how weird it was when I first started hearing him sing, even if it was for a little bit? I was like, this is 82-year-old Christopher Walken, right?
I don't want more cowbell, Christopher.
I think Christopher just wants to go home and have a nice nap, stare into the sunset. I don't know how this man still has the chops to do some acting stuff. I think, hold on, is he 82? Hold on.
Yeah, you got your phone this time.
I do have my phone this time. So Christopher, that's Nolan. Who the hell's McQuarrie?
Fuck if I know.
Okay, there he is. He is 82. Yeah,
Okay.
but he was 73 when the movie came out.
Okay.
But still, like for a man of his age and his caliber, I'm surprised that he had the chops for live action remake and also a remake of The Jungle Book where he plays orangutan.
Yeah.
But not just an orangutan. Isn't he one of those extinct species?
Gigantopithecus?
Yeah, that one. Because he was plus size in that movie. He was giant. So I think you and I can both agree, though, that the worst live action to come from Disney so far has to be The Lion King.
Yes.
I had high hopes for that damn movie. I thought to myself, you have just Romeo and Juliet. You have a majority
Hamlet.
Huh?
Hamlet.
Oh yeah, Romeo and Juliet is the second one.
Yeah.
Sorry. You have Hamlet as your main source. You have a movie that scored 8.2s on IMDb and nearly boxed $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot fuck this up. And I was more surprised at how much they fucked it up than how bad that movie was, truth be told. Because I don't think I had a problem with any of the actors. The acting itself wasn't bad. My problem was that they tried to put human emotions on
hyper realistic lions.
Yeah, on hyper realistic lions. And that sounds like something that can be done. But unfortunately, they were so focused on the animal part that when it came to the human design or human characteristics, there was little to no reading done on faces. The one bit me and son love to make fun of so much.
Dad,
you
gotta get up.
Gotta get up, Dad.
You gotta go home.
The kid sounds like he is about to cry, but then you look over at Simba and he's just monotone, straight
There's
face.
no emotion on the face. And what is it like? Over 15 years ago, we have the technology to make lions look expressive. Aslan looked very expressive in Narnia.
Oh yeah, Liam Neeson. God bless you, Qui-Gon Jinn.
So, should we go through the list of live action remakes and then talk about them, or should we like rate them or something like that?
I mean, we can do both. We can start off as how about this? You tell me firstly, are we going off of just Disney live action, or are we doing every live action that's ever been made?
Disney live action specifically, because that's what we started off with.
Well, also, you think we can expand more?
Into what?
Well, there's other live action remakes that have been done.
Such as?
How to Train Your Dragon?
We haven't seen it!
Is it still in existence?
It's not finished.
It's almost out.
Then we can bring that up. I feel safe just sticking to Disney because they're things we've relatively seen.
All right, I guess we can go with Disney. So we're just doing only live action remakes that are based off original IPs.
Yes.
Okay. Damn, I really need to stop going to work. I just said IEP. Next thing you tell me about the 504 of this movie coming out, okay?
Good God Almighty.
All right. Star Wars is the first one. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't matter what order.
Right now they're like ranked by the Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh no, I'm just telling you. Okay, well, just tell me. Just tell me from how you get them.
So the one holding the number one spot according to Rotten Tomatoes is, and it will be not shocking at all. It is The Jungle Book at 94%.
That I don't agree. That's not ridiculous to say at all. The Jungle Book has been probably the best of all the live action because it took took a proper homage to the original source while also being independent in its creative liberties.
Yes,
it had a very interesting story because when we start off with Shere Khan killing Mowgli's adopted parents, I was like, oh hell yeah, we are so back, bro.
Okay, Disney.
Hell yeah, we're it's so Jover.
It's so Jover. Fuck off.
But when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, this is going to be peak. And it was, honestly.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Jungle, not only is Shere Khan's a villain, the other side villains too.
I like Bill Murray as Baloo.
I know, that was actually surprising. Baloo, the acting too overall. Kaw.
That little boy did very well.
The acting, I cannot remember his name, that's unfortunate, but
Neil Sethi.
Neil Sethi, okay. Neil Sethi, I don't know if you hear this. You are wonderful in The Jungle Book, and I appreciate what life you brought to the role.
You knocked that shit out of the park, champ.
Hell yeah. So, as number one, that fits.
I don't know if you've seen number two, but I haven't. I haven't even seen the original, to be frank.
Okay.
Number two at 88% is Pete's Dragon.
Motherfucker, you're kidding me.
Yes. That is where it is.
I didn't have a problem with Pete's Dragon per se. I just found it to be one of the more surprising ones, honestly. Because I didn't think Pete's Dragon, the original, was that popular enough to warrant not only a sequel, but to be as good of a remake. Was not as popular to warrant a remake, but also one that became so popular, it was surprisingly how good it was. I didn't really care for the original Pete's Dragon. When I saw the remake, however, honestly, I think the acting chops were much better. And to have, because it wasn't even 2D, 3D style like Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
How Pete's Dragon was basically 2D dragon with live action people. They pretty much did do CGI heavy, which I know a lot of people like to criticize. But I think Pete's Dragon was one that shows that there can be expressions on animals. And they can be done properly. So why, Disney? Why did Lion King have to not have that? What was it? Did you need money? I gave you money. Was the $5 not enough?
Jesus Christ.
I have another $5. Just give me a line that shows sadness. But look, for Pete's Dragon overall, the camera work, because truth be told, I think a movie is just as good for every bit. You know, the weakest link, or the weakest chain can break the link.
The weakest link can break the chain. You were on the right path the first time, bud.
Whatever. Either way, everything works together to make a perfect movie, or a good movie. So the cinematic approach with the film work, perfect. I agreed with it. That was nice. It was pretty somber. I think that's the word I'm looking for. And the acting skills, as a kid who's pretty much having like the imagination, quote unquote. I say that because it's one of those things where like, oh, he's crazy at first, and then oh, he's not crazy. I think Pete's Dragon for the remake itself was worthy of number two. Nah, you know what? No, for me, I don't think it's number two. I think at best, from other ones I've seen, number four.
Okay.
Maybe three, pushing it, depending on what I can go for. But I think for me, Pete's Dragon goes at number four.
Okay.
All right, so what's yours next?
Number 3 at 84% is Cinderella. And I will admit, the only like weirdness I found from it was choosing Helena Bonham Carter for the fairy godmother. But I'm not saying she did a bad job at it. I'm just saying it felt like an odd choice.
You already know where I stand for Cinderella. Like, I don't think it's my favorite princess movie. And the live action too was pretty good. Was only good because I don't think it went that Disney approach the classic had. Like the whole whimsical, magical stuff. I feel like there was a sense of realism for the time that Cinderella lived in, which I can appreciate.
Yeah.
The acting skills were pretty great too, so that's one other thing I give it. Film work, obviously the cameras, but my only real hesitation for the movie overall was just I really never liked Cinderella's story. I don't know what it is. When I watch Cinderella, it just plays off like a schlocky, well, Disney kid film, and I never really liked that.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion, I suppose.
I know. It's weird, possibly underlying sexist if you look too deep into it.
Sexist! Optics are sexist!
Yeah, and racist. You can't forget the racist.
Oh my god.
No, but seriously though, something just about the whole Disney princess early form kind of always made me feel,
You're not a huge fan of damsels.
not damsel in distress per se, but I mean later on Disney princesses like Belle, Ariel, arguably Mulan. I don't know where we stand on Mulan as a princess.
She's in the collection, but I wouldn't consider her as such. She's a general's wife.
The council recognizes her position as a Disney female, but not as a princess. I was like, look, if she's a princess and Shane's a prince, and then we can put that whole argument to rest.
Sure, champ.
But
sure.
For me, Cinderella, I think is number 4.
Okay. Number 4, I don't know if I.
Oh, hold on, aren't you giving your opinion?
No, I gave it already.
Oh, okay.
I will say this: Cinderella is a perfect example of a costume department that both takes its liberties but also respects the source material. Because I'll get into it with Beauty and the Beast. Because Cinderella's dress is fucking phenomenal. It's beautiful. I would pay top dollar for that dress. It fills me with joy.
Honestly, I think they did the right decision to have Cinderella's dress as the pinnacle point.
Yeah.
For the movie poster. Because even just seeing that dress, look, I'm not an art guy, so if you ask me what color the sky is, I'm just gonna say blue. And you'll probably be like, it's actually sky blue, but at 12 o'clock even, it becomes baby teal.
Oh my god.
So, but for Cinderella's dress, like in comparison to what the cartoon was like, I think obviously it was better. I think it's because you have more fabric design to it, and you can have more understanding the depth and the layers put into crafting the dress. And I say crafting loosely, mostly because if you're going movie logic, it just got snapped into existence.
And that's and I believe the live action, it gives it the opportunity to flesh it out more, even in like historical context, because I've seen adaptations where they make Cinderella's dress historically accurate, and there was no way in fucking hell you were getting that with animation without like butchering the budget, man. So seeing that they had a little more like freedom to do that in the live action got me excited.
What would you say was better though? Because I know the 2D one was flat because it's like 2D still, 2D animation.
Mm.
But which dress do you think looked more appealing to you, the classic or the remake?
I would say the remake, but I like the classics hair and such.
Oh yeah.
I've never been much of a fan of like down hairdos or even like half up, half down. I like a nice up controlled kind of hairdo, especially if
Mm,
you're going to be dancing the night away, because then you're going to get sweaty and that's going to stick to you and then you're going to look grungy.
okay. All right, that makes sense.
And also, and I feel like my main like chatting up point for Cinderella is the costume department because I also like whimsical outfits. I like the fairy godmother's outfit. It reminds me of or I guess the witch in Into the Woods reminds me of the fairy godmothers because they're both a little whimsical, but they're elegant and they're fun, and I love that.
I gotta say, Into the Woods had that been the most surprising film I saw this year. I think it's a collaboration musical to be as much of a banger as it was when I think my favorite song still has to be either Last Midnight or crap, what's that one where they blame each other?
Your fault.
Your Fault. Thank you.
Which I love that you picked two songs that are right back to back.
Are they really back to back?
Yes, one Your Fault fades into Last Midnight.
Oh shit! I can't believe I forgot that. Well, I guess it's a good transition. Well, I just like Your Fault more because it it's just so explosive that they're trying to figure out who's to blame,
Mm.
and I'm still shouting at the TV. It's his fuck ass father who couldn't keep his dick in his pants.
And the funny thing is, they come to that realization and they all agree on it, but then someone's like, okay, but wait, what about the goose?
Oh, you shut the fuck up, Gerald. We just agreed to blame my dead dad. All right, all right, dead pops going for the win. Woo. All right. So back to our list. What's after Cinderella?
I don't know if you've seen, I certainly haven't, the 1994 Jungle
1994.
Book.
There's a 1994 Jungle Book. Hold on.
At 80%.
1994 Jungle Book.
Jason Scott Lee, Sam
This is-
Neill, Steven Sommers directed it.
Are you sure there's a Disney one?
I put Disney live action remakes.
Let's say, holy shit, yeah, Walt Disney produced.
All right.
I've never seen it.
So yeah, we'll let you just chill there, champ.
Have you seen it?
No, I've never seen it. I didn't even know there was a 1994 remake.
Well, it's a Buena Vista distributed one. Oh,
Oh,
hold on. It's produced by Disney for select territories, meaning that Disney only had a hand at it when it
okay.
came to, I'm assuming the United States probably.
So sort of like the Sony and Disney share for Marvel characters.
That and Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Or who's that? Is Disney and what else?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
characters
what-
had to have the same amount of screen time.
Yeah, that's what this 1994 one is.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I assume we're gonna skip it for now.
Yeah.
All right,
Number 5 at 75%
I
is
hear.
Cruella.
I still haven't seen it.
I've seen clips, and I gotta admit, just from the clips, it does seem like a fun reimagining.
She serves cunt.
Yes, and you know what? Here's the thing. A good film is also a bit defined by how good the villain is. That's why I feel like going back to Cinderella, it works because Kate Blanchett, mwah, Emma Thompson, and Cruella, mwah, beautiful.
My only witness to that movie was just this one clip where she walks into the gala, taps her cane twice on the floor, fucking bursts into flames, and her dress transforms to a red black mixture.
Yes.
And hand to God, if you do not have a diva on that level in any film after that, then you are just disappointing so many people.
Get on Cruella's level, dog. God damn it.
Because look, she serves so well in that movie. You kind of forget she's still a pet killer.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, she's beautiful. Why do we hate? Oh yeah, she kills dogs.
Oh yeah, the puppies.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Woo, yeah.
She's the Teddy Roosevelt of fucking films. Like, oh, yeah, internment camps.
Fucking, that's Franklin
Oh.
Roosevelt.
Okay. See, this is why I needed to
Did
not
you-
be sat next to the
you just
dumbasses.
Did you just confuse the two Roosevelts?
It's kind of hard when you remember that just how much of a, like, this country dick rides both of them. They kind of blur together
You
for
watch
me.
your mouth. We don't dick ride FDR enough.
Oh my
right?
god. We don't, and then you're sitting there dick riding him right now.
Not like-
Whatever.
It's
You
not like
know
that
my
man
point.
feels it anyways. Motherfucker's paralyzed from the waist down.
The
Well, right now
origi-
he's paralyzed from the whole body down.
The original Governor Hot Wheels.
Don't be mean to FDR.
I will not be mean to FDR. I will be mean to Abbott, though.
FDR led us through a world war.
Okay, buddy. Okay. I don't. It might have also. Might have also. I don't. I again. It's weird that I haven't seen it, but I do enjoy the premise because I am like a fashion. I'll say buff. I'm
Yeah.
not like head over heels for it. I do like historical fashion, and I also like the process of designing and sewing clothes. So I enjoy the concept of that, and if it goes into like as in depth as I've seen from clips, I think I will enjoy the movie, and I think 5 is at least an earned spot.
I will say, even though I haven't seen it, why I will put it at 5 though is just because from even the reviews I've seen and the few clips I have also seen for Cruella, everything paints her at this feels like a Devil Wears Prada gone wrong kind of scenario. Because she's kind of starting off as someone who wants to get into the fashion industry, but her boss is such a bitch. And it's pretty much like broken down to try to up other people who are essentially above her.
Yeah.
So because of that sort of interesting background approach, even though I don't really like when movies try to give a sad or background story to villains, because sometimes can't the villain just be a villain?
Yeah.
Like
sometimes you want that.
Yeah, like Clayton. Clayton could just be a homicidal maniac with a shotgun trying to shoot gorillas. Like, I don't need to hear how he was beaten at an orphanage as a kid. That's why he was starting to fucking shoot people like the goddamn American school system.
I feel like you keep going. I want to double check if he has like a twisted novel.
Who, Clayton?
Yeah.
I mean, probably. I don't know. I don't know anything about that Twisted Wonderland, so.
Oh no, I'm talking about something completely different from that.
Oh, okay.
They're just the villains novels. No. So far, Clayton does not have one. Okay.
Well, I don't think he's as much of a prominent villain as you might see at the park. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't even have a character for roaming in the Disney parks.
Yeah.
But so I say 5. You know what? For me, my list again, what I know about it, I put it at number 4, Cruella.
Okay.
Just even if it's just by a few stuff that I know about, I think number 5 fits.
Okay, so slightly controversial for number 6.
Okay.
At 72%, it's Mulan.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
And here's the thing, again, this is going to be a recurring fucking statement. We haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it.
Oh, you've seen it?
I saw it when it came out when I was working at one of my pizza jobs.
Okay.
I watched it as a dishwasher. You got nothing else to do. So, do you want to hear my little critique of it?
Champ. Go off.
So, when I say bullshit, that's so. What'd you say? 72%.
72%.
Yeah. Well, this is Rotten Tomatoes. I'm assuming that's the critics.
It's just a total.
Oh, okay. Either way, they're both wrong no matter what. Mulan wasn't horrible. It wasn't good though. And that's not to say that
it did its job.
It barely did the job.
It did it enough not to be fired.
It did the job to keep the company afloat for a month. Right? Because the movie itself wasn't appealing enough. I think I can also blame COVID somewhat for it, just because I assume production was at a mess.
Plus the internal like protests from China.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit going on too. Like too much stuff interfered with it. But what came from it though? What still was produced and came out of it? I know they were trying to be somewhat faithful to the source material. I don't think the animation department was at its best that day though.
Yeah.
The CGI overall looked so schlocky in comparison to what you might find for other films like Avenger. But for the Mulan one, it looked so cartoony. You'd think it'd be like a Roger Rabbit type of spinoff. And I don't really blame Disney for not trying to be like the Mulan cartoon movie, because it makes sense. Again, I'm not going to go on my whole spiel saying that I appreciate original stories compared to copy paste. But for some reason, even with their original approach being more closely aligned to the text of the Mulan story, it still failed to create a character that I think was someone that was trying to fight against the societal norms established. It really, and I think it's also another thing too. The villain wasn't on the same level as Shan Yu.
Yeah.
Shan Yu is a top tier villain for Disney. It is shameful, honestly, that he does not get much recognition anywhere.
To risk getting a hey champ, that's real interesting. Sean Yu's kind of daddy.
All right, champ, that's really interesting. Next time, shut the fuck up. But the villain overall wasn't as terrifying as you might see with Shan Yu. So I don't think I can fault too much for the actress who played the villain. I still just feel that there was no effort in. I don't know who to blame. So many people to blame, honestly. I'm just going to put it up as just a fail. And as number at 72%?
It is at number 6. Here's the thing. I'm looking at the one that's number 7, but that one has like higher by 1%. So I'm wondering, did someone make this list incorrectly?
Maybe someone just input their input right now.
Or or maybe they're using like live like updates for the scores.
Could you imagine as we're giving this ranking right now? They're like, hold on, someone's liking the Mulan movie right now. I gotta humble them real quick.
Shit, I gotta move. I gotta move quick.
But that's my criticism for the Mulan movie.
Okay.
All right. Since you didn't see it, I assume we're going to the next one?
Yes.
All right, what's our next one?
At 73%, Christopher Robin.
Would you call that a remake?
I'd say a retelling, because Christopher Robin is sort of in the same ballpark as Maleficent is.
I guess.
Or maybe it feels like an indirect sort of adaptation sequel.
All right, I guess I could agree with that too. Also, since Christopher Robin is on this list now, I didn't take consideration. I have to now move down Jungle Book. I have to move down Jungle. Look,
is Christopher Robin your number 1?
Christopher Robin has to be my number 1, dude. Because I'm gonna be emotional right now for a sec. I fucking bawled my eyes out when it got to the part where he's trying to realize that he's still a kid at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just Pooh Bear trying to offer words of wisdom.
I love Pooh so much.
We all love Pooh Bear. We love the Pooh Bear ride.
What I appreciate is the fact that they didn't like just do copy pastes of like the designs for the citizens for the 100-Acre Wood. They did adapt them into what like actual children's toys would look like, but you can still tell that they're characters that we've seen and love.
Yeah, they're like properly adapted to become stuffed animals. That's what they are. They are stuffed animals. They're not meant to be anthropomorphic creatures that have sentience. They're just Christopher Robin's playthings.
And I very much would like to thank the production and the casting director for getting Jim Cummings for so many of those characters because god damn it, we needed that.
Dude, Jim's Cummings is going to be around for a bit, and I'm so dreading the day I get that news article.
You're gonna like collapse in the middle of your job, just no.
Oh, you're gonna find me staring out the window in a full dark room, and I'm just going to utter the words, "He's dead." That's it. Just cigarette in one hand, whiskey next to me. He's
Pooh
dead.
and Tigger can never speak again.
He's hopped for the last time.
The wonderful thing about Tigger is he was the only one.
My God Almighty, shut the hell up.
Here's the thing. I had like a lot of like baby toys of Winnie the Pooh, but I can't ever say that I was like a Winnie the Pooh kid. Cause like my grandma's like, oh, I love Eeyore. My mom has her own favorite character. I just don't remember what the fuck it is. And I had like the little tiny, like I want to say like they're roughly the size of my hand. These little like plushies that my mom wouldn't let me toss out. It was like, oh, they were your baby toys. So Winnie the Pooh has had like a prominent place in my childhood. So seeing that Disney didn't do what Disney is currently doing to a beloved piece of my childhood, it made me happy to watch. Sure, there were moments where Pooh made me want to fucking smack down with him in the movie, but you know, you gotta remember that's a bear.
That's a child.
That is a child. That is an uninformed character about the reality of the world. Like the frustration that Christopher Robin is having is the same level of frustration that Alice had in Alice in Wonderland, because the shit he's saying does not make sense in our world, but it would make sense in the 100 Acre Wood.
Mm-hmm. I mean, truth be told, too, the whole... I think it's the Christopher Robin story part, too. Not just that he's a kid at heart, but that he doesn't need to be an adult still. Like, yeah, he has to worry about his responsibilities. He has new stuff to think about being a full-grown man now. But that doesn't really entirely mean you need to just be an adult. You can be silly sometimes with your child, and you can go take a day off, try your best to enjoy life for what it is, and it's nice and honestly more heartbreaking because it feels like it's one of those things that it's like the last conversation you have with your child self. It is like the last words you say to, or young you says to you before that connection becomes severed.
Yeah.
It is extremely tragic and heartbreaking. It makes me sad. God Almighty, I love Christopher Robin.
Dare I say that Christopher Robin is sort of in the same, like I'll say thematic realm as Hook, where you gotta get back in touch with your childhood self in order to function properly as a well-rounded adult.
I don't think that'd be too ridiculous to say, because that is pretty much like the same process. It's still just going about being who you were and how you don't need to be just suffocating in your own work.
Yeah.
I love the message more behind it too. But I put that number one for my list. I don't know if you're making your list, but I'm making my list.
I'm not, but I sort of have an internal list for myself.
All right, we'll go over it in the end.
Okay, number 8 at 71, Beauty and the Beast.
I think I put that above Mulan. I don't think it was horrible, but I know. Look, before I'll let you go on your diatribe at the end, okay?
Fine.
Because I know you. You're gonna go on a whole list and have like a "It's Always Sunny" moment with a billboard just saying it's talking about an ugly dress, dude, but it's more than that.
I have more critiques than just the dress.
I think the critiques for it mostly weird approach for the silverware. I don't know how to feel about having a human face on candles on a candelabra. But they did get creative with like Mrs. Potts and then Cogsworth.
Yeah.
Because their faces were more just the numbers or the designs embedded onto the pot. But, you know, Lumiere was just a face.
It was just a man on a candelabra.
Yeah, it just felt weird for that. I think the songs overall were kind of better than the original, truth be told.
I will have a differing opinion on some of them with you at least. But I will give it this. I do enjoy when remake, and now, here's the thing, it's only been 2 cases so far. If I had a nickel for every time, I enjoy an additional song that is specifically a man yearning for the one he loves. I live and breathe for that shit. I need more of it.
This person, go off on your Evermore hype.
Well, Evermore is a good song. You have it as like a constant replay in your car, and Uncharted Waters was such a good addition for The Little Mermaid that I'm like, all right, Eric, go off. Let's fucking go, champ. Sing about your lady.
Which one did Eric sing again?
It was an addition. It was a new song to the movie. It's Uncharted Waters.
Oh god, I can't remember
You
that.
can listen to it afterwards. I really fucking liked it. I'm like, okay, because not all the time do I like a new additional songs. Like, I'm probably one of the few people that wasn't really bumping with Speechless because you don't, I don't know, forced like girl power makes me want to put my head through a fucking wall. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's important to have, but when it's forced, it's like, okay, wrap it up, champ. And that's a crying shame. Like, we're supposed to be like feeling empowered and taking this seriously, but I feel like I want the next 3 minutes to hurry the fuck up.
I think for the sense that Beauty and the Beast's empowerment story, it did slightly take away for some of the development
Yes.
than the original. What I will give credit to, though, I feel Gaston was more devious in this film.
Yeah, he was given a lot more time to shine in this one.
Yeah, like, if anything, his character was more... Because you still see assholes nowadays talk about how Belle should have been with Gaston, because, like, how can a man want to do so much for you and you still don't want him?
Because his personality is garbage.
Exactly so. But now you have the Gaston and Carter film who's just more blatantly, oh no, I'm just an asshole, dude. I'm just gonna fuck shit up because I want to.
I want it my way. There's no other way.
Yeah, and then if you still support Gaston, well, go for your trad wife dreams, champ. Keep me out of it.
Do you. Just get the fuck away from me.
I
won't be babysitting your 9 kids, thanks.
Let's all have Lee at the end of their names.
Cody.
Kimberly.
Braylon. Chad. Another critique before I go into my main one.
All right.
Is an issue that I see with like a lot of Hollywood films. It's casting actors who don't have singing training in singing roles. Like, we've seen where this has happened and it's worked out just fine. Johnny Depp did his piece in Sweeney Todd, and
Fucking loved him in Sweeney Todd, dude.
yeah, Emma Watson was not the best choice.
She wasn't bringing it. I can agree to that.
Like, so here's the if I'm recalling like a video from the Nostalgia Critic from a while back, he talked about how like there were circumstances where actors who aren't trained to sing, like, they do work because they sound like they're having fun, and then there are the ones that sound like they're dead ass just reading lines. Like, Emma Watson is one that feels like she's just reading the lyrics off, and Russell Crowe in Les Mis is also one.
Dude, when I heard Belle for the first time in the remake, I was disappointed so hard because
It's such a dampening opening to a movie that should be like bumping, man.
I know, because classic Belle was just a slap. It was just a banger, man. And then just Emma Watson opens, and you're thinking to yourself, "What is the song? 3 minutes? Okay."
This is underwhelming.
I was like,
Do you know how bad your song has to be where the background characters are what's saving it?
exactly. And then you think to yourself, "Yeah, I can go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back."
Yeah, I can watch a TikTok or two.
I think the better one for the remake, because I'm not going to talk about Evermore because there wasn't an Evermore in the classic. So I wonder how it could have been. But Be Our Guest was much better than the one from 1990 something.
I will listen to your opinion.
I think it's because Ewan McGregor and then Ian McKellen, they both were I don't know what it is. They had much better range than the ones from the classic film. Something
Mm-hmm.
about their approach and emotion to, or being trying to have like a jovial, lovely time, despite the situations. Something about Ewan McGregor's approach was just much better than the classic ones.
And I'm going to loop that back to my earlier point.
All right,
Ian McGregor does have training with singing. He was in
Mulan,
Moulin Rouge.
Mulan. Yeah, sorry.
And fucking again, give me my male yearning songs. And he knocked that out of the fucking park. So yeah, it makes sense that a song sung by him would be phenomenal.
Right.
I don't know if I'm letting nostalgia cloud me. I can admit when like a remake of a song is better than its original, but I don't feel like that's one for me at least. I do have fun listening to Be Our Guest from the remake, but it doesn't fill me with the same like level of like I gotta bounce in my seat, ADHD, having a fun fucking time moment kind of thing.
All right. Well, do you want to go on your little tidbit now? Go ahead, champ. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, champ.
Fuck the dress. I need to have a very heated discussion with both Emma Thompson and the costume department. You can't. Her main complaint was she didn't want to wear a dress with a corset. Understandable. They're not fun. They're not always the best. It's hard to do what you want to do in that shit. Even if, like, historically, corsets did better for supporting the chest than a bra does. You can make the dress without the corset. It's not hard. I can figure out how to do it, and I have just a novice, not a novice, I'll say like an intermediate amount of skill when it comes to sewing. I can do that. It might not have the same shape, but it will still look like the goddamn dress. And another complaint. What? The dress is yellow. Yes, the dress is yellow. I'm having an issue on the vibrancy. It's a combination of the choice of the shade of yellow along with the design of it, because it looks like a prom dress. Do you know how much you have to fuck up in a design for a costume when cosplayers are doing better than you? We're in France. We're in like 18th century Rococo France. That dress doesn't exist there.
All right, champ. I literally muted myself because I knew you were going to go on a whole diatribe for this, brother. Go ahead.
I will say, literally every other aspect of costuming, either passable or superb. Like, the servants before they got turned or when they get turned back, yes, that is fitting. That works for the times. Beautiful. Gorgeous even. What the fuck were you doing with the iconic dress? You shat the bed, is what you did there. And I will forever, you will find me at 84 still bitching about this, because I am heated as like a costume fanatic. Ooh.
What's our next one on our list before you go on more, champ?
Okay. Oh.
Hold on, I want to piss you off a little quick. It's just a dress, bro.
Go to hell. Choke on a candelabra.
What's next?
Oddly enough, number 9 at 68, Lilo and Stitch.
We'll skip that for now.
I will say, if I had to just like go off of what I've seen just for Stitch himself, very excellently done. He's a little shit. He seems to be learning, but he's still a little shit. That's the importance of Stitch. And I am sad that the Ugly Duckling story got removed, but I do enjoy that his core personality is still there.
Honestly, from just the designs too for the aliens, they all look perfect. They look respectful to their design and originals, but they also look unique in being just aliens. Because I thought they'd be looking more gross.
I mean, Jumbo looks pretty fucking gross.
Yeah, but Jumbo also looks gross in the original too.
I think he looks cute.
He's four-eyed and extraordinarily alien. So I don't think they're supposed to be more.
I don't know if it's because I'm like comparing how he looked in the first film to like the series and then other movies.
Right.
In the first film, his eyes sort of seem like larger and cuter.
Yeah,
Like
no,
they
they did.
progressively get like a little bit more smaller. Like again, you can tell it's Jumbo, but it's not like, oh, look at this little dude.
Oh no, they still did. I know what you're talking about too. I've always noticed it whenever the sequels and TV show came out for Lilo and Stitch. I knew it the minute I saw.
I'm gonna say this. We'll see it, but I'm gonna say this right now as like a precursor. What I'm hearing about this movie right now, it's making me actually enjoy the anime.
I still haven't seen the anime.
You don't need to.
I would like to. I feel like you guys are over hating.
It's sort of like the generic, oh, Japan wants to try a hand and they have a department at Disney, so they may as well try. Like, it's a decent kids anime.
Oh.
Like, it kind of gives yokai watch kind of feels.
Yeah.
But, like, it's more focused on friendship and good deeds. Like, it's an alright anime. I've seen worse. I've seen just as average. Like not Dragon Ball. Fuck God, I was about to get skinned alive. Powerpuff Girls Z is sort of in that like sort of like
same spot.
Yeah, it's an okay adaptation. It's not like gonna take over the original, but it's like okay, it does its jobs. It's an imagining. It keeps some aspects. It keeps Bleakley in drag.
What about the, again, spoilers, the pivot from Bubbles being like a later adopted family man to Lilo and Nani to being one that's just a social worker?
I
think people are saying he's like a secondary villain.
Well, here's the thing. If I had to remember from the original, Gantu was the main one. He was the big bad evil guy. Jumba and Pleakley were sort of the secondaries, and then Cobra. I would say that of the three quote-unquote villains, they're all tied to respectively different characters. Like, for Cobra, I would say he's more the villain for Nani. He is the antagonist in her conflict. It's like just specifically for Nani, and also Lilo by that proxy. Gantu is the overarching, but it is focused primarily on Jumba and Pleakley being the antagonists for Stitch.
Right.
So Stitch couldn't, obviously, as you can see from the movie, couldn't give a flying fuck about Cobra Bubbles' presence.
Fuck you, Bubbles. Read this book.
Just throw a book at him. That's the extent of their interaction. So I guess it's just separate antagonists for separate characters, and I feel like it worked fine in that movie because I don't know, you were focused more on Jumba and Pleakley. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Gantu kind of takes us like he's just like a third act villain because that's the only time he shows up besides the beginning.
Yeah, I think you're kind of right.
So I'll say it's not out of character for Jumba to be the villain. I'm saying it's out of character that he's the main one and he stays through that. Because his main thing in the movie was just to get his freedom after being arrested. He wasn't doing it for some spiteful, evil reason.
All right, so let's go for our next one.
Okay. Number 10 at 67%,
Damn.
The Little Mermaid.
Okay, first thing I want to make a little note right now. I'm getting really upset that Aladdin hasn't been on the list yet. And I don't want you to give me hints. Don't you say, rest assured, like, it's up next. Just let me be surprised.
Okay.
I am still conflicted about why it's not sooner. That said, for The Little Mermaid, I will put it below Jungle Book.
Okay. Yeah, I do believe The Little Mermaid did a good job. There were elements I didn't quite get, but it did stick enough to the original and have fun with it, at least.
Right.
And also, I love when, like, the previous voice actors for characters, like, make cameos. So unless you knew what that actor looked like, you'd miss it. But if you know what they look like, you're like, you! no! Like the second I saw Jodie Benson, I'm like, bitch, you! There you are!
Do you think though that it was Melissa McCarthy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think Melissa McCarthy paid proper respect to Pat Carroll?
I would think so. She wouldn't have been my first choice. My first choice would sorta. I would actually. Controversial take. I would have actually had wanted to cast a drag queen
Oh,
because Ursula's design is based off of the drag queen Divine.
so I did not know that part actually. Uh, what's her name? Trixie Mattel.
Oh, I would not put Trixie Mattel
All right,
as
champ.
Ursula.
Okay, all right. Well, I only know the one drag queen.
If I had to, and
Bam.
I will look up a photo of
I didn't
her.
expect that reaction just from trying to put in person
No,
for.
it's okay. She does have a bit of a goofy look, but that's kind of her shtick. Oh my god. No, the name escaped me. Come on. Heavyset
Kimchi?
Black.
Kimchi.
No, not Kimchi.
Make her say, "Oh,
Oh no, it's not Bob the Drag Queen. Come on. Let me. I have to put this in my fucking search. I feel so bad. I have to put fat black drag queen in my fucking search bar.
It's gonna hit you like a brick when you see the name, and you're gonna be more ashamed."
I have to specify RuPaul, don't I? God damn it. I think that's her. Oh my god. Okay, you make state Latrice Royale.
There we go.
Let me find a different photo of her. I think Latrice Royale would have made a decent Ursula because already she kind of gives off that energy. Let me find a. Okay. There we go.
Oh, I definitely see it now.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely see it.
But I don't know. I also don't know if Melissa McCarthy was trained to singing beforehand. But I think she did very well in Poor Unfortunate Souls, and I think that
Mhm.
would have been the selling point if Latrice was Ursula, whether or not she can sing.
Honestly, I think the songs too were pretty much on par, if not better, than the classic ones.
Yeah.
I liked. It's a Halle or Haley.
Haley
Hey, thank you. I think Haley Berry
Bailey.
sung Bailey. Why the hell am I keep?
You're thinking Halle Berry.
I know. When I saw the movie, you two were like confused because I told you I was like, man, I wonder how Halle Berry is gonna be.
She's not in this fucking movie. There's a different light-skinned black woman.
Do you mean who the hell are you talking about now, Peepaw?
Peepaw Optics is at it again.
I'm out of my meds and out of my rocker.
He's off he doesn't have any more tapioca. Oh, Jesus.
But when I first heard Part of Your World, I honestly was surprised because I didn't think it would hit as closely to original as you might expect. Usually sometimes when a new song that's in a remake comes out, or sorry, a remake of a song comes out, they try to do their own creative liberty, and it usually is either hit or miss.
Mm.
But this one particularly was perfectly aligned with how the original sounded, but had greater volume and expression. Because truth be told, I really loved her acting in the film.
She does the
naivety of
Ariel
Yeah.
very well. Yes.
Yeah, she does that perfectly well. Then I think my only weird, I guess, criticism was sort of Javier Bardem as Trident.
Yeah.
It's because I don't know. Her father had a deep booming voice, and I know you can't find a man with that kind of build in real life.
Yeah.
But something about Bardem didn't fit for Triton. That said, though, he did still command authority when he was on screen.
Yes.
He's a great actor, so I knew that he was still going to play that role well.
I did appreciate how the film it covers a major plot hole because in the original film of Ariel not just dead ass writing out I was the one that saved you, because she shows that she can spell and write in English. she signed her name on the contract. We can see that she can do that. In the remake, anytime someone sort of mentions that to her, she gets this kind of blank look, like her brain gets fuzzed with. And I'm like, okay, that covers that little thing. That I love it when films that are reimaginations or remakes fix plot holes. Like if I'm gonna like step off to the side for half a second, uh, have you seen anything for this? It's direct streaming. It's The Ugly Stepsister.
No.
It's basically Cinderella, but it's from one stepsister. It's just the one stepsister. It's basically body horror.
Right.
And it has Cinderella coming in, and her face is like sort of covered in like a veil. So that would cover the fact that the prince would have to have like go looking around with a shoe only. I love when films cover up like a major issue like that.
Okay. All right.
So and I do love that they covered like they messed with Ariel not being able to like directly write out, "Hey, I was the one that saved you. I lost my voice." Something that confuses me though, and I feel like if they had hired like appropriate people, it would have sort of explained it away. The odd racial diversity of Ariel's sisters.
Mm-hmm.
If say they had people from respective like areas of those oceans playing those sisters, because it's each sister for a sea, it would have worked better, but it doesn't do that. So it just kind of felt like, if I had to say anything, that aspect kind of felt like the forced diversity of the film.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because you got a Hispanic, the Brighton's Hispanic, right?
Javier Bardem?
Yeah.
Spanish, I believe.
Yeah. You got a Spanish father. We don't see the mother. We have one black daughter, but then we have like a wide variety of different races for the sisters. And I'm assuming we're sticking with just the one mother, just Athena, like just that in existence. So either Athena in this universe is very multicultural, or
all right, Charlie Kirk.
Oh my God, I am.
All
I
right,
like things.
Candace
I like.
Owens.
Oh, don't fucking insult me like that. I'd rather you just slap me and call my grandmother a slur.
Grandma's white. There's
My
not a lot of
great
criticism.
grandmother a slur.
All right, there we go. That's. I love how we go back a generation just for the black part.
Great grandma Edith, a pillar of just rusting bitch face. Sad I never met you. All right. No, are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're good.
Okay. 11. Something I haven't seen, but I'm kind of not against seeing. It's a Disney Plus exclusive. At 66%, Lady and the Tramp.
I don't know.
We'll first talk about whether or not you enjoyed the original.
I enjoy the original. Look, I haven't seen it either, but I fall into the TikTok of watching part 1 to 58 on one page, and they never with a poorly AI man speaking over
Mary. It's always Mary and Tom.
No, it's Zhao Long or something. Zhao Long was a lonely dog who was looking for love, but he wandered the street, and then a ball hit. I'm like, what the fuck's happening right now?
Is this the actual storyline? What the fuck is happening?
But the original I liked. It was just cozy. I think it was one of the more cozier films for a Disney movie because nothing really felt life or death intense. Yeah. Look, they were in a shelter. It looked like a kill shelter.
So I need your, for a minute, history knowledge.
Sure.
Was there a war and or conflict during 1955?
It all depends on what country we're going about.
That we were involved in.
United States?
Yeah.
1955?
Yeah.
Korea.
Okay, so then I would sort of feel like during those, I'm saying that this is either Silver or Bronze Age. I'm not going to check. I don't care right now. Around then, we were sort of just like giving off homey vibes. We wanted to keep it chill for the Americans at least. We didn't want to be too adventurous. We wanted to keep it straightforward where we didn't have to do too much.
Well, here's the thing about that. It's So, United States,
Uh-oh, here comes people.
yeah, here's the people. Maybe FDR wasn't bad enough. All right, no, but in all seriousness, for the historical aspect, the 1950s was just strife with wartime, and pretty much all of 20th century America was just war ridden.
Mm.
Whether it be the Cold War, pseudos, or just outright conflicts, the United States was primarily involved in many, many conflicts, as the Soviet Union was too. But at the time the movie was produced, you said 1955?
Yes.
Korea just ended.
Okay.
Korea was a 3 year conflict from 1950 to 53. But remember, given the early age of film, I assume this movie takes years to get in production and then on to going. So it probably even went on during the start of Korea itself.
Yeah.
But when it came out, Vietnam was starting to go underways, but the United States wasn't going directly involved with the conflict. That wouldn't be later until the 1960s. But there was that civil war between the North and the South for Vietnamese.
Yeah, so it would kind of track that these films are more just like homey.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I feel like it would be kind of hard to butcher Lady and the Tramp. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Be a little complicated. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
But still, from what I've seen for the remake, it was
Straightforward CGI dog talking.
Yeah, but like just for that notion too, it was pretty much. You ever seen that movie Hotel for Dogs?
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty much like that.
I can't recall. I don't think the dogs talked in Hotel for Dogs.
They did not, but it was basically just the same kind of design. Film like
it wasn't
shot.
like the masterpiece of Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Oh hell no, it wasn't. Beverly Hills Chihuahua says 100% for Rotten Tomatoes, baby, in my heart.
Delgado.
I don't care what they all say. Roger Hubbard said himself too, top tier masterpiece. Perfect film never to exist.
Sam Elliott. Was Sam Elliott fucking Tramp?
Was he?
I don't know. I'll look into it.
I'll look it up. But I rank that just above Beauty. No, I think I'll rank that just above Mulan.
Okay. I'd have to see it, but it looked decent enough. Again, it's hard to fuck up like those movies when they're just sort of straightforward.
All right. What's next on the list?
Fucking number 12 at 65, and I haven't seen this. It's the 2023 Peter Pan and Wendy.
Never seen either. I still want to, but my problem with Peter Pan and Wendy is I don't it's going to pain me to say this because I have to accept it. I liked Peter Pan when I was a kid. I don't like Peter Pan as much anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it was one of those childhood movies I wish to watch because for my nostalgia, but at the same time, it's knowing as an adult, I'm not going to get the same enjoyment as I probably did as a kid.
I know it's not Disney produced, or I don't think it is, but the 2003 Peter Pan?
Hook?
No, it's not Hook. It is. It's either Pan or Peter Pan. One is the one that flopped because they put a white chick as Tiger Lily, and the other one is a.
Pan came out in 2015.
Okay, then so yeah, it's Peter Pan, and that movie was the fucking shit. I loved the Captain Hook in that film, and you wouldn't have been able to tell off the bat that that's the same actor that's Wendy's dad. It's phenomenal, and I feel like it's important when you're making a remake or like an adaptation, and you kind of want to keep like the young girl's attention that Peter Pan is attractive, and I will admit Peter Pan was fucking pretty attractive.
Okay.
And I'm saying that from like my kid's self perspective. That man grew up to be a man. Whoever is with him, God bless you. Have a good life. Enjoy it.
So, also just firstly, are we moving to the next one?
We can, because again, we haven't seen. Oh, Jude Law. Is Jude Law Hook?
Yeah, Jude Law is Hook.
Oh, let's fucking go. I'll put that on my watch later. Then I love Jude Law.
I was going to go back to tell you that Sam Elliott for Lady and the Tramp, he plays Trusty.
Okay.
It fits.
Yeah, that fits.
Really fits.
Sam Elliott's always just made for like old
Old,
characters.
wise sounding characters.
Never change, Sam. Sometimes cast typing is fucking annoying, but sometimes they're perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Keep Sam Elliott in like the old gruff characters. I need it. I need it every step of my life.
All right, so what's our next one?
All right. You will not feel happy about the ranking or the rating of this, but at number 13, 57%, it's Aladdin.
Unalive yourself.
Unalive yourself.
I can't say the other one. Look.
Kilimanjaro yourself.
Go the Kurt Cobain way.
Oh my God. Win a Darwin Award.
Pay homage to Van Gogh.
Become one of the statistics.
We should make a podcast episode where it's just coming up with creative ways to say the other words.
Oh my God.
All right, but Aladdin was a good movie because it was surprising to see how they managed to make Genie.
Yeah.
I think that's one strong suit I can give it. Because you go in thinking to yourself, are we just going to see Will Smith painted blue the whole movie? But no. I mean, truth be told, I was kind of hoping there to be mostly blue Genie.
Well, if I'm going off of like the stage performances, not even that happens. It's typically a black man in like a blue outfit.
Yeah.
And they always, every single time I've seen a Genie for like a Broadway performance, Spot is fucking beautiful. I love it. Never changed Broadway costume department.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we did briefly see a blue Will Smith, I'm like, okay, I wasn't against it. It tracks. They want to keep the icon for their own movie. And I do enjoy that we didn't have to see that for the entirety of the film. We did get like actual Will Smith physically being there.
When we got to the musical portion for the film, though, I have to admit they were perfect for Will Smith's. I think it's because Will Smith's early career as a rapper or his attempts to be a rapper.
I'd say he was a well-established rapper. He's well-established as like one of the few that never swore.
True.
And he kept the beat and the flow going.
Pretty clean for it.
Yeah.
But the music was very in tune with what his skills were. Because it's one of those things where like Will Smith can sing 2019 Aladdin's Friend Like Me, but he can't sing 1996 Aladdin Friend Like Me.
Yeah, they had to make it his own.
Yeah. And then like vice versa. Robin Williams cannot sing 2019 Aladdin's Friend Like Me, but he can do 1996. Rest in peace, Robin.
If I had to think, like, if Robin did try to do the 2019, it would sound like a white person trying to rap.
He probably put his own comedic approach to it. He was always silly like that. God, I miss that man.
Each iteration of the song perfectly fits the person that was acting it out.
Exactly like that.
Yes.
And then the story too. I liked how I kind of liked how it played off like a retelling. The film opens with Genie talking to his kids.
Mm-hmm.
I will still have qualms with the fact that not only did the movie end with Genie being free, but it ended with him being human.
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a big downgrade because the classic, you still had Genie with his phenomenal powers.
Yes.
And now he's just a man who's working a 9 to 5 on a boat.
He's just a fucking merchant now.
I'm like, wow.
Oh, shit.
What?
I guess that's a good tie-in.
For what?
Because the original Genie was...
Oh, shit. He was the merchant.
Yeah.
Holy cow, you're right.
Goddamn, Disney, all right.
We're like 7 years too late from this. Everyone else probably piece it together. Last horse crosses the finish line.
Yeah, it took us a while, but we got there before we had to be put down in the stables for a broken ankle.
Did we win? Sure, Seabiscuit. Now
That's
look at the hay.
Fuck's sake, that's sad. If I had to say, I have like a couple issues, but I've already briefly talked about like my issue with Speechless.
Right. Oh man, I hated Speechless.
And I feel so bad because if it was in like a different circumstance, it would be a bitchin', girl anthem. We'd vibe with it. We'd have it in the car on repeat, but it just felt phoned in.
It just sounded like one of those attempts to have a tie-in for a woman in power movement.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one to go against any form of feminist tone set for a movie, because Jasmine, as the original Jasmine, and even the 2019 one, had that strong, independent energy for the characters.
She knew what she wanted, and she didn't want to settle with it.
But for some reason, Speechless just pretty much was one of those desperate attempts, or my perception, that
Shoe-ins.
Yeah. It was one of those shoe-ins that, like, you made your point. There was no reason to just
We didn't need the song.
this. We didn't need the song. Just have her kick ass. The classic Jasmine was always cunning, and from what you see, like, in the sequels and even the show, she has some skill in fighting. So, like, explore that. We don't need to have a song to shoot in for us right now.
To get that point across.
Exactly.
Another of my biggest issues, and honestly, I think it's. I'm not saying he's a bad director. I'm just saying I don't think he was the right fit, because for the song pieces, Guy Ritchie, who does have a background in music video directing, every single song piece felt more like a music video rather than a musical moment in the film.
What I think, though, from the music perspective, I don't know if there was going to be more to the characters' development with each song, because somehow, God, I don't know how to probably word this, because I know what you're trying to say. And yes, every character song has some tie into their development.
Yeah.
But when we got to just songs like, what's that one Aladdin sings after he gets pretty much kicked out? It's like that start of the film when he gets
One Step Ahead?
No.
It's the reprisal for One Step Ahead.
Oh, it's just the reprisal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes those ones specifically, I never really had much of a positive impression, because stuff like One Step Ahead and Speechless, it just doesn't add anything more to the character's development.
I would say the opposite for One Step Ahead.
Reprisal.
Well, yeah, but you also need to tie in the first part, the main source.
Right.
The One Step Ahead makes it shows off that Aladdin is a cunning thief. He can get away from trouble. He can get away from the law. He seems confident in his capabilities. But with the reprisal, you see that he's in pain. That he has this deeper character. He's not just a cocky, heart of gold guy. He's someone that's lonely and sad, and he doesn't like where he is, and he wishes people would see beyond what he has to be in order to survive.
Right.
So that's why I appreciate like reprisals like that. As I don't think we in the I'm not saying I don't love the reprisal for Prince Ali that Jafar does in the original. I can't recall if they did it in the remake.
No, they didn't.
But it didn't feel necessary, but I enjoy its presence.
I still say, though, overall for the story, Aladdin sits at number 4 for me.
It's one of the better live actions.
Definitely better. So what do we got next?
Number 14 at 56%, it's Mufasa, the Lion King.
We still haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it, but it's the fact that Mufasa
specifically
is above the Lion King.
I'm already putting it down at number 10 right now, though, just until we get to the Lion King itself next.
Okay. This one hurts my soul, but then again, I've always been more into odd movies. Number 15 at 54% is Maleficent. You haven't seen it.
I haven't. So go off, Queen.
Maleficent is a retelling. It's not a remake, or I'd say a reimagination, because it is focused on Maleficent, and then it sort of ties into Sleeping Beauty's story. I do enjoy that it delves into the fact that she's a fairy. Like, I feel like they sort of just breeze past that in the original, but she is a fairy. She had these magnificent wings, which I'll say the CGI in the film was very well done. Uh, and you see how the king betrays her and sort of gives like an additional reason for why she showed up to Aurora's either christening or her birthday or celebration, whatever the fuck. Like it wasn't just because she didn't get an invite, so it adds like another layer. I will reiterate that she was fully justified in being pissed off in the original.
The hell you mean the stable boy was invited, but my ass got lost in the mail?
For those events, everyone from nobility to the beggars in the streets were invited. So telling her you weren't wanted means you are below the lowest of society. And no shit, she would have taken offense and crashed out on that. Justifiable, queen. So I do like that she's sort of the twist reason. Like, it wasn't Merryweather that gave the True Love's Kiss addendum to her curse.
Mm-hmm.
It was Maleficent because she was mocking the king for breaking her heart and betraying her.
Right.
I enjoyed that. And I also enjoy, as much as I didn't enjoy the sort of butchering of the fairies' personalities and their characters, I did like how there was a sort of that she was basically Aurora's fairy godmother, as Aurora herself puts it. She made sure that she was fed, stayed safe, was cared for, and with, I want to say his name is Diaval. I fucking loved him. He's the crow who occasionally gets transformed into a human, and of course he's like disgruntled about that fact half the time. But he's a fun character. I like him.
Pissed too if I wasn't a raven.
He's like, where's my wings? This is horrible. And she's like, yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? And so, and then the developing sort of like a pseudo mother and daughter relationship between Maleficent and Aurora that grows in the film is so charming, and I love that it's the love of a mother and her kiss that wakes up Sleeping Beauty rather than just a prince. Because Philip's in the movie, he does his job, he's charming, Aurora loves him, they get together, but it's originally not Aurora that it's not Philip and Aurora saying let's run away together. It's Aurora telling Maleficent that she wants to stay in what is essentially the Feywilds with her because she feels more cared for by Maleficent, and she would be able to see who she thinks is a hunter, Philip. She doesn't know that he's a prince, more easily than if she had stayed with her quote-unquote aunts. And I do like the movie is mainly just the relationship between Maleficent and Aurora, and it is vastly different from the original, obviously. And I love how they handled it. They handled it with sort of like a weird sense of care. Because even when Aurora met her parents, she still, of course, felt disjointed, because also at that point, Stefan is losing his mind. Like, he will lock himself in his, I want to say, trophy room and stare at Maleficent's wings, saying, they're talking to me. They say what's going to happen. I can't get them out of my sight.
Whisper the truth of reality around me.
Oh, pretty much, yeah. And so
I need to kill my firstborn.
Even seeing his child that he had to hide away for 16 years, he was even like dismissive of that. So it makes sense that Aurora had still that relationship, even though she did find out what Maleficent did.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's next on our list?
Overall, I would put it high up on my remakes list. Honestly, I will find.
You ain't even told us the remake list. I don't know where it's at. You just said...
Exactly, but I'm going to put it high up.
All right.
Look, I have movies that are lower on this list that are also high on that list, so my list is not like the gold standard. But I did enjoy Maleficent. Good reimagining. I would recommend it if you're okay with like a slight diversion from the original source material that keeps some of its main points. Number 16. At 52%, The Lion King.
Yeah, okay. Look, I don't think we can say anything more for Lion King than we already said. Like, we literally started off most of this episode talking about the Lion King, just having no emotion or anything.
Yeah.
So even the songs too were kind of good, but not better than the original.
I enjoy. If I have to sing some praises for it, I will enjoy. I would say enjoy the fact that the cast they picked was well chosen, and they did have singers in singing roles where it was important. Like again, people that aren't used to singing, if they're having fun and they're making it obvious they're having fun, then good on them. That works for. Oh my god, there's his name, Seth Rogen and Billy, whatever the shit.
Billy on the Street.
Yeah, it works for them. They're not, as far as I know, they're both not trained musically, but they did do Hakuna Matata very well, and it was fun, and they kept the vibes, and that's important.
Yeah.
But Donald Glover and Beyonce, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous, give me more. I love Donald Glover. Leave me alone. I've been a fan. I've been a fan since his comedy years. I've been a fan since singing. I overall I enjoy the man and what he produces. Do you have anything to like sort of add to Lion King? Did you enjoy anything? Did you hate something specifically?
Other than the musical bits, I enjoyed those. Especially though, I think Pumbaa and Timon were great at being the fun uncle still.
Yeah.
Billy and Seth had great dynamic for that.
Yes.
But my greatest problem I had was with Scar specifically. But honestly, I also appreciate Scar's design. It's the design part that I had a problem with. Because he looked scrawny and more weak and fragile in the remake than he did in the classic. And I have a problem with that because for some reason I don't think that gives off that much of a threat. But then you remember he's not going through power, he's going through
manipulation.
Yeah, he's going through manipulation. He's going through words and logic. So how he gets to a position of authority is more.
He's not conquering; he's usurping.
Yeah, he's usurping. It's Hamlet.
Mm-hmm.
So I can give that credit. Everything else, though, pshaw.
It's on a element by element basis.
Mm-hmm.
Number 17. I don't know if I agree with this, but it's also because I'm a bit of a weird fucking kid. 51% at number 17. Alice in Wonderland.
Never seen it.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, you seem to enjoy Tim Burton films. I'm surprised you haven't seen this.
I'm always 50 on Tim Burton films.
If I would say, and I'm trying to remember this because I was in the height of my Hot Topic days when this came out, 2010. So I was a bit of a weird edgy kid with my friend at the time. Fuck it, I'll just say the name Nikolai, who was a major Tim Burton sort of a Nightmare Before Elm Street. Not Nightmare Before Elm Street. Nightmare Before Christmas fan.
Christ almighty.
Uh-oh, Jack Skellington's coming in your dreams. So yeah, basically I was brought along to whatever Tim Burton film came out with him, and then I saw this, and I enjoyed it. It was a fun retelling. If I had to say anything, it might have been closer to the book than Disney's, because I don't know if there was the existence of the White Queen in the books, but if it was, Anne Hathaway was a fun addition for that role. She sort of gave off like stereotypical Disney princess because she's like walking around, arms raised, like just Alan Rickman is a fun caterpillar. He's always got that Harry Potter. Alice, who are you? Johnny Depp does. It's an interesting take on the Mad Hatter, but I think it fits. Because he is like whimsical and fun, but he also has like those moments of madness that sort of tracks with what the character should have.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the March Hare, even though he looks cursed. Give me a second. I honestly, I don't think I have a character I dislike except for Queen of Hearts like henchman. He's sort of like weird looking, and he had this weird heart eye patch that changed color between whether he was next to the queen or not, and they never addressed it. And I wish they would have. Uh, that's an artist depiction of what the March Hare looks like.
Oh yeah, forgot. He did look cracked out. The guy honestly looks like he is on withdrawals.
I'm getting better, guys. I promise.
I'm
on my 12-step plan.
Give me another tea right now. Give me another tea right now, damn it.
And I feel like the Tweedledee and Tweedledum works very well for who they had. I don't know his name, and if I try to give like another film he's in, I don't know. Do you know Bridesmaids?
Yeah.
So the main, you know how the main character got kicked out of her place by her roommate and her brother.
Yeah.
The Tweedledee and Tweedledum are played by the brother.
I know. You know what? It fits.
Yeah, it was like a very. I would say it's a good example of everyone having fun. Like even Alice, who seems sort of perturbed at everything that's going on, even she seems like she's enjoying the role. Like, and even if she wasn't, it doesn't take away from it because thematically, Alice was not enjoying her time in Wonderland. She's like, how the fuck do I get out of here? I want to go home.
Dude, I'm not having a grand old time. Can I please just leave?
So it makes sense that she would sort of have like the Kristen Stewart in Twilight level of emotional depth. She's just like, I want to fucking go home, man. Why am I getting yeeted on top of your hat into the Red Queen's castle? So I would say that, yeah, it was a good film. I haven't seen the sequel, honestly, but I feel like it gives, to my knowledge, it gives more of a background to the two queens.
Okay. Honestly, we've been going on this for a while, dog. Want to call it a night?
Oh man,
dog, it is late for us.
Hold on, let me count. Oh, we already talked about that. I suppose there's only a couple, but I'd say there's like 3 more. And we sort of have an agreed.
All right, hold on. So I already can tell that it's gonna be Dumbo, Pinocchio, and I'm assuming the sequel to Maleficent.
Oh no, I was gonna talk about 101.
Oh, 101. All right. Then we quick fire round then.
Okay.
All right. Doesn't matter which one next.
Dumbo. 46.
Horrible. Horrible. I don't know why they had to go on this. Again, go for your unique storytelling. Yes, Queen. Tell me a wonderful, invigorating story. What the fuck was Dumbo though? Nothing about that movie was even interesting. All we got was Danny DeVito as the ringmaster, and that's all that saved the film.
I think Dumbo being cute also helped.
Dumbo was kind of cute. Wait, hold on. Was that Danny DeVito?
Yes, that was Danny DeVito.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right, the ringmaster.
And then the horny moms that fucking drool over Colin Farrell.
Dude, we did not need to have that weird ass side story about we gotta take down the greedy CEO of whoa, what's happening now? I thought we are just trying to talk about how Dumbo got his groove back. Why are we fighting a CEO?
If we're talking about like thematically, I feel like that was Tim Burton saying, "Yeah, Disney, your greed is fucking disgusting." But
don't give the man too much credit.
I'd say that maybe his writers at least. I enjoy the writing in Tim Burton films, if anything.
All right.
Look, as much as you hated the scene, I did like the music for Pink Elephants on Parade.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. All right, well, I'll put Dumbo right above Lion King or Mufasa too, because again, Mufasa's already just taking titles Lion King probably.
Yeah. Okay. Next, the 101 Dalmatians.
Mostly just was intrigued by Glenn Close.
You are there for Glenn Close and Glenn Close only.
Yeah.
As much as fun as it is to see like dogs acting without CGI lips flapping in the wind, like sometimes you need that, but honestly, Glenn Close was the fucking highlight of these films, even though my favorite line is in the second movie.
I think I put 101 Dalmatians at above Mulan, but below Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
I think it's mostly just I appreciate the design, especially for Cruella,
Yes, it works perfectly. And the
perfectly described.
the nails all like on top of the gloves, the acrylics on top of her gloves has always been a favorite thing of mine.
Honestly, it was so wonderful.
And just a briefly, like a slight aside, it will be brief. My favorite line is in 102 Dalmatians.
Mhm.
It is the main guy's friend. Like I think they refurbished something as like a pet salon or some shit.
Right.
He's up in this garbage heap where it's like a motorcycle cubby, like the sidecar. He looks down, he sees someone, he goes, "That's my probation officer," and he just ducks into it. Like it's such an out of nowhere line, but it's my favorite line in the movies. Just the fucking Irish guy going, "That's my probation officer." All right, and lastly, Pinocchio at 27.
Mostly just a more kid-friendly version than what the original was, and that's a shame, honestly. I liked it. I didn't have too much of a problem with it because it had at least a great storytelling for what Pinocchio was supposed to be, a boy trying to become a person or learning what it means to be a person. But taking away a lot of stuff, like the darker theme for the movie, like was it Pleasure Island?
Pleasure Island.
Yeah, like Pleasure Island, barely keeping Monstro in because I will admit though,
Monstro felt sort of like a background like incident rather than like a main issue.
Yeah, but additionally too for Monstro, I love the design. It looked terrifying.
Yes, at least they did. I will say this: the designs for everything in the film are either to a T or good enough when they're different that it's spectacular. You can't make me hate Tom Hanks in a film, honestly. It's so hard to do that.
I'm telling
And
you.
I loved him as Geppetto. I didn't see anything about this film. It just showed up on Disney Plus, and we were like, all right, may as fucking well. And then we saw Tom Hanks like, yes, Grandpa. He is the peepaw. I love it. And he's doing such a good job talking to just CGI Pinocchio, and I enjoyed that they sort of kept Pinocchio's look. It did look like the cartoon stepped out into real life.
Mm-hmm. But what was the one flaw for it? And I have to preface that this shouldn't be how movies are held to.
Mm-hmm.
It came out the same year as Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
That is such a shot in the foot.
That was like a horrible. You remember in Astro Boy when they brought Zog to life to bring him to the arena?
Yeah.
There's that one small robot who was trying to get hyped up. Like,
you can do it.
You're the man.
It's that.
And then, yeah, Zog walks right by. You're like, yeah, it's nice knowing you, man.
That's knowing you, champ.
Yeah, honestly, just Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was so much better.
It deserved the Oscar.
It so deserved the Oscar. It was against. What was it against? Hold on.
Take your time. I'm choking on Doritos.
Die quietly. Well, it was like 21, right?
To my knowledge.
Let's see. Animated Oscars. Nope, because that was Toy Story 4.
Oh.
Let's see. 2022, perhaps. Yeah, I don't care about the in memoriam, bro. They already died. All right, bro. I'm different.
Bro, I'm different. Jesus Christ.
Come on now. Oh, here. Okay. 22 was Encanto. It must have been 23 then. Was it really 22?
Why did you just look up when Pinocchio came out?
Because then I'm gonna have to type in Guillermo del Toro's full name, and I don't want to do that.
Del Toro Pinocchio.
But still, that was 23.
Okay.
So yeah, 2023, Pinocchio won. Oh, that's right, because that was a great night for us, because Brendan Fraser won for The Whale.
Yep.
And Ke Huy Quan won for Everything Everywhere. Like, 2023 was probably the best year for the Oscars for people.
That was for what we wanted.
But Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, it came out and went against Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
Damn, that was honestly a little bit painful seeing that lose.
That was a bit close, I gotta admit. The Sea Beast. Terrifying fucking film for the last phobia.
You just watching Red disappear into the dip. You were like, "Oh, I don't like that."
Hey, champ, you're a bright red color. Why the fuck did you suddenly disappear now?
Ooh.
And then Turning Red.
Okay.
Yeah, but Disney's always gonna have a film nominated. Rarely might they win though.
Props to the Academy now requiring people to watch the films
I
before they
hated when I
vote.
heard that. I'm like, what do you mean you have to watch now? What the fuck have you been doing this whole
I
time?
had known for years that they didn't because, god damn it, because of Adam ruins everything.
Yeah, well, because it's playing that like, yeah, you gotta pay your way to win, and then there you go.
It feels like such a fuck you to like skill. So when movies that are genuinely like beautiful, they surpass those odds. I don't know who just texted me, but it was twice in a row, so it's probably a job.
Mm,
So when films like that are just genuinely beautiful and you can tell that people put their heart and soul into it, when they win, it's such. You know how there's like that Reddit question of what's the closest thing to an orgasmic feeling that's not that?
sure.
Watching those movies win is one of them. Watching Spider-Verse win, Spirited Away, Shrek.
Yeah, well, Shamik will shut the fuck up every now and then.
Shut the fuck up, get in the booth, record your lines, pretend to be a swinging boy, and let me get my goddamn film. Honestly, I already got robbed on the third Devil's Carnival. Shut the fuck up, let me get my Spider-Verse.
All right. Then that's our list, and that's our criticism for remakes. Truth be told, I don't see how bright the future is, though, for original films anymore. We're getting a lot more remakes every year, and
I need people that are passionate about the original to work on the remakes. That's how I feel like we'd only get good remakes.
yeah. All right, but I say for now, though, we call it because I'm tired. It's late. So signing off for tonight, you got your boy Optics on this side
I'm Sunspot.
with a little less energy like last time. Take care for you folks next time. See ya.
Bye.